And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Harriet, MacMillan.
Your occupation?
I'm a student.
And your specialist subject?
The life and works of Lord Byron.
Lord Byron, in 2 minutes. What is the name of the Byron ancestral home in Nottinghamshire? The poet wrote an elegy to it that is in his first published collection, Hours of Idleness.
Newstead Abbey.
Yes, after the publication of the first 2 cantos of Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, Byron wrote, I awoke one morning to find myself...
Famous.
Yes. In English bards and Scotch reviewers, which fellow poet does Byron call framer of a lay as soft as evening in his favourite May?
Burns.
Wordsworth. What is the name of the Italian verse form that Byron first used for his satirical poem Beppo and went on to use in Don Juan?
Ottava Rima.
Yes. Which of Byron's dramas, begun in Switzerland and completed in Italy, is set in the Alps and is said to show his remorse over his relationship with his half-sister Augusta Lee?
Manfred.
Yes. Which of Byron's tales is dedicated to the poet Samuel Rogers as a slight but most sincere token of admiration of his genius?
Lara.
The Giara. What is the name of the choir boy with whom Byron fell in love at Cambridge? His gift of a cornelian ring inspired a poem that includes the line, For I am sure the giver loved me.
John Edelston.
Yes, Byron made only 3 speeches after taking a seat in the House of Lords. On what subject was his maiden speech?
The Luddites.
Yes, the Framework Bill. Whom did Byron marry at her father's house in Seaham on the 2nd of January 1815, a marriage that would last only 15 months?
Annabella Milbank.
Yes, what was the name of the aristocratic lady who became Byron's mistress in March 1815? In a diary entry on the day she met him, she reputedly called him mad, bad and dangerous to know.
Lady Caroline Lamb.
Yes, at which Flemish port did Byron land after he left England for the final time in April 1816? He spent the rest of his life in Europe.
Cadiz.
Ostend. In January 1824, Byron took command of an Albanian corps formerly led by Botsaris that was fighting for Greek independence. What was its name?
Pass.
According to the opening line of Byron's poem, The Destruction of Sennacherib, how did the Assyrian come down?
Pass.
Which poem to the Prince Regent's daughter Charlotte, originally published anonymously, was published under Byron's own name in the 2nd edition of The Corsair?
Lara.
No, it was Lines to a Lady Weeping. Harriet, to join us again, please. And you have 8 points with your knowledge of Byron. And you get 2.5 minutes now for your general knowledge, so let's see how you do with it. Here we go. Which 87 film starring Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey features the Oscar-winning song I've Had the Time of My Life? It's since become a West End musical.
Dirty Dancing.
Yes. What collective English name is usually given to the Hebrew and Aramaic religious texts first discovered near the Middle Eastern settlement of Qumran in 1947?
The Torah.
The Dead Sea Scrolls. Which crime fiction author, a Labour peer since 1997, also writes under the name Barbara Vine?
Pass.
Admiral's House on the corner of 34th Street and Massachusetts Avenue in Washington, D.C. is the official residence of the holder of which office?
Vice President.
Yes, the pygmy species of which large African mammal is around the size of a domestic pig and is sometimes known as a water cow?
Hippo.
Yeah. Who swapped Los Angeles for Paris when he signed for the football team PSG on a 5-month deal in January 2013 and he donated his salary to a local children's charity?
David Beckham.
Yes. Which celebrated painter was born in the city of Leiden on the 15th of July, 1606? He was the son of a miller.
Rembrandt.
Yes. In Greek mythology, Autolycus, renowned for his thieving and trickery, is the maternal grandfather of a hero of the Trojan War. What is the hero's name?
Achilles.
Odysseus. Which city has a name meaning sheltered harbour in Hawaiian?
Pass.
In which Dickens novel does Inspector Bucket investigate the murder of the lawyer Tulkinghorn by Lady Dedlock's maid, Mademoiselle Hortense?
Bleak House.
Yes. In cookery, what French word is used for a young chicken 4 to 6 weeks old, usually served whole as a single portion?
Spatchcock.
A poussin. Who co-wrote The Royal Family with Caroline Aherne and went on to co-create the sitcom Early Doors, set in a pub?
Ricky Tomlinson.
Craig Cash. The name of which island of the Thames estuary comes from the Old English for sheep?
Isle of Sheppey.
Yes. In the Shakespeare play Macbeth, the title character is killed by Macduff, but historically, who actually killed Macbeth?
Duncan.
Malcolm. Which Canadian singer released an acoustic version of her breakthrough album Jagged Little Pill in 2005?
Alanis Morissette.
Yes. Which small electronic device that's used to correct heart rhythms was first fitted internally to a human patient in 1958 by the Swedes Orka Senning and Runa Elmqvist?
Pacemaker.
Yes. What word for a tall, four-sided tapering pillar, usually made of stone and topped by a pyramid, comes from the Greek for little pointed pillar?
Obelisk.
Yes. Which Russian dramatist's works include the plays The Seagull and The Cherry Orchard?
Anton Chekhov.
Yes. In 1478, what organisation did Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain establish, I'll finish the question, with the permission of Pope Sixtus IV to combat heresy among recent converts to Christianity?
The Spanish Inquisition.
Is correct. 2 passes, Harriet. Honolulu is that city whose name means sheltered harbour in Hawaiian, and Barbara Vine is otherwise known as Ruth Rendell. But you've now shot up to 20 points. And now David again.